Hello and welcome back to my YouTube. Or if you're new here, then just welcome. If you are new here, let me introduce myself. I'm Lauren and I'm a women's fat loss coach who specialises in working with beginners, those who feel like they have literally no idea what they're doing in the gym. The thought of going into the weight section just absolutely terrifies them. They've been trying to diet for years, on and off, yo-yoing, up and down. Those are the people that I help, the women that I love to help, because when I see the difference that I make, on a selfish level, I feel really bloody good about it. I've been coaching for almost 4 years now. Bloody hell, where has that time gone? And in those 4 years, I have helped hundreds of women, one of which is the lovely Abbi. And I'm going to talk you through her transformation today because she's lost an incredible 24 kilos. And you're probably sat there thinking, how on earth has she done that? I could never. I promise you, with the right plan, the right support, you absolutely could too. I'm going to talk you through the whole process and how it has worked. So when Abbi first came to me, we jumped on a Zoom call and we had a chat. No pressure. I just wanted to get to know her. I wanted to know more about where she was at that point in time so that I could work out how I could help her and also if we were going to be a good fit working together, because not everyone is. And if I don't think that I'm the right coach, I'm very willing to hold my hands up and say so. So we jumped on Zoom and she was telling me all about how she was just absolutely lacking in confidence. Her weight had crept on over the years and she didn't really have the first clue about where to start. She tried diets and nothing had ever really stuck. She didn't know what she was doing in the gym and quite frankly, the thought of stepping foot in the gym absolutely terrified her to the point that she wasn't ready to start there. So I formed a plan to meet her where she was at. So in terms of workouts, we actually started with home workouts using the equipment that she had available to her. She was not used to working out at all. So we started off with 2 workouts a week, full body workouts, so targeting the major muscle groups. And then we added in an optional third that she could do if she found that she could fit it in. So no pressure, 2 workouts as standard. If she could fit in the third workout, then fantastic. Slowly, that third workout ended up becoming mandatory because she was doing it every week anyway. So of course, I wasn't going to tell her to stop. Once we'd built up her confidence, she found that she was actually ready to step foot in a gym so that she could start having a wider variety of equipment to work with and a larger range of weights. And this has been the absolute key driver in Abbi's transformation because it shifted her focus away from what's on the scales and shifted her focus towards hitting those bigger numbers in the gym, which has meant that she's felt positive reinforcement every single week when she goes to the gym and she feels good about what she's lifting. It gives her the encouragement to carry on rather than stepping foot on the scales every week, being disappointed when it might only be, some weeks it might not change at all. Some weeks you might see a drop of a kilo, but most weeks that's not going to be the case, and focusing on that number can at times be incredibly disheartening. So I transitioned her into working out at the gym to start with, kept it with all of the familiar movements that she'd already been practicing at home and nailing, and just moved them into the gym environment so that she could get comfortable in that new space. Then slowly I introduced different machines, so just things like the lat pull down, the leg extension, so that she could get to grips with using different things in the gym. And now there is nothing that I would not give her because she is strong as anything and is happy to rise to the challenge of something new. We're actually now up to 5 workouts a week, and that has not been me pushing them on Abbi. You have to do this if you want to see progress. That has been Abbi falling in love with the gym and wanting to do more, being so happy with the way that she's feeling that she can't wait to get even stronger. When she does her workouts, she logs them on my app, so I get to see exactly what she's done every single workout. So she logs the weights that she's used and the reps that she's done and the sets that she's done so that I can see all of that information. And that then enables me to provide feedback for her workouts, go through every single week in her check-in and review what has she done, where do I think that she could push, give her numbers that she can aim for, because it's not just about turning up and going through the motions, doing the workout. You've got to actually put in some effort and progress week on week. So by me giving her targets, she's got something clear in her head to aim for, so she's not left wandering into the gym thinking, oh, I'm not really sure what to do today. Of course, the fat loss that Abbi has seen has not come just from what she's doing in the gym. Her nutrition, her diet has been a massive, massive focus. So she's been eating in a calorie deficit. Surprise, surprise. I'm not going to tell you how many calories because that's completely irrelevant for you. What I am going to tell you is what things she's focused on in her nutrition to help her adhere to that calorie deficit. So for example, protein has been a massive consideration to help her not only to feel fuller between meals, to help stop snacking, but also she's trying to build muscle. She needs protein to help them to grow. And then we've also looked to add as many whole foods into her diet as we can. A switch away from some more processed food to more whole foods. And the reason behind this is because it's a lot harder to overeat when you're eating whole foods. Processed foods are literally designed to make you want to keep eating more. So we try and keep those to a minimum. Of course, they do still feature. Who is going to go without chocolate forever? Absolutely not. But we try and keep those to 20% or less of her diet. Another thing that we've also had to really work on has been being prepared, thinking in advance about social plans, eating out, making sure that we're working those calories into the week, looking at things like calorie cycling, so taking some calories from some days and putting them into others. Days where she is not doing as much, maybe during the week, and then she's got something on at the weekend. She wants to go out, she wants to have fun. So we make sure she's got a few extra calories to play with so that she's got a bit of wiggle room to go out and enjoy those things. Looking at things like how to tackle boredom snacking. So Abbi is actually a pastry chef, and I don't know if you know anything about hospitality, but it has its peaks and its troughs. Sometimes it's super fucking busy, you don't have time to stop. Other times it is dead and there is barely anything to do. And that's when the boredom snacking creeps in. And of course, sitting at home on the sofa in the evening or an afternoon off when the temptation to just reach for a bag of chocolate and munch your way through it is high. So we've looked at strategies for dealing with this, making sure that actually she is aware and she's thinking about these things rather than mindlessly reaching for snacks. She will go off and she will find something to do that will keep her occupied. And if after that she is actually hungry, then she will have a snack. But she will think about what that snack is. Rather than just reaching for a handful of chocolate, she will have something that is going to actually fill her up as well as that bit of chocolate. Because chocolate is life, let's be honest. And the biggest factor in Abbi losing 24 kilos is having me as her coach, holding her accountable, helping her through all of the tough times. I can't tell you how many times she would have thrown in the towel had I not been in her corner, cheering her on, helping her through all of the tough things that she's gone through. Because that is when coaching is most important. It's not at its most effective when everything's all gravy. It's all good. It's easy to be motivated then. When it's really important is when the shit hits the fan and you need someone to pick you up. You need someone to tell you, no, keep going. This is how we're going to move through and move past this shitstorm that has just blown its way right in. There you have it, how I've helped Abbi lose 24 kilos. I'm currently taking on new one-to-one clients. So if you want to change your life in the way that Abbi has, I've put the link in the description for my coaching application form. Fill it out and I will be in touch. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.